Hey there, we are live for our Wise Woman Worthy Collective. And first, I am going to take a moment and introduce our beautiful mentor tonight. And that would be none other than our Stacey Duffie, soul experience mentor. And also, her company name is Soulful Holistics. Stacy is a holistic practitioner with over a decade of experience, along with unexpected life experiences that have guided her toward helping people reconnect with their mind, body, and soul. At one point in her journey, Stacy felt deeply lost and alone, so disconnected from herself that she nearly lost who she was. That experience became a turning point in her life, and it's a reason she's so passionate about helping others find their way back to themselves. Through her work in intuitive toe reading, Stacy brings soul to soul, focusing on the whole person rather than just one piece of the puzzle. She believes our bodies hold powerful stories, and when we take the time to listen, we can uncover clarity, healing, and transformation. Beyond her professional work, Stacy is also proud mom of five amazing daughters. Her life experiences have deeply shaped her compassionate and grounded way she supports others as they grow, heal, and rediscover the strength and light within themselves. And what I also want to share would be a little more insight into our Worthy Collective because in this, we have really made sure that if you are someone who is invited and you are checking us out and you want to know a little bit more about what we're doing, what is this space all about and why do we talk so deeply? Because our subjects, like tonight, is going to be a good one. So, welcome to our Worthy Collective. This isn't just a community, it's a sacred space for your soul to breathe again. A place where women from every walk of life come to rise in their health, wealth, faith, purpose, and presence. Here, there's no hierarchy, no comparison, no pretending, only truth, only grace, only women remembering who they are together. We believe that growth doesn't have one timeline or one look. Some days it's rising boldly, other days it's resting bravely. Both are worthy, both are growth. You're not behind, you're not too late, you're right on time for your next becoming. In this space, you'll find encouragement, accountability, and sisterhood that reminds you can build your dreams without burning out. You can walk in faith and not fear. You can create a life that feels as good on the inside as it looks on the outside. Welcome home to the Worthy Collective, where grace meets growth, purpose meets peace, and women rise side by side. I'm excited to hear this beautiful message from our Stacey Duffie.
Hello, everyone. Tonight we are going to go over discipline creates confidence. So, when I chose this, I knew what I thought I knew what I was getting myself into. But I looked it over about 30 days ago and decided I need to make some changes. There's some things that I need to be more disciplined about, and what better way to do it than to work on this while I'm working on my presentation. So let's go to the presentation now. And I need to share my screen. Oh no, share it is. Can you see it? No?
Yes, confidence isn't given.
Okay, so that's the first slide. So, um, raise your hand if you have ever disappointed yourself. Most of us don't struggle because we aren't capable. We struggle because we've stopped believing in ourselves. Confidence isn't given, it comes from evidence. Every kept promise says, I trust me. Every broken, sorry, I cannot see that side of my screen. Every broken promise, it means maybe I won't. It's not because we are failures. It's because our brains learn from repetition. It's inconsistency is human. The starting point, not the verdict. Because consistency shapes belief, each repeated action sends a message to your brain. This is who I am. Small actions compound into identity. You don't decide who you are in one moment. You prove it across many small ones. Discipline is an act of love. We share acts of love with others. This one is for us. Stepping out of that comfort zone, it's choosing your future self over your current comfort. Motivation gets you started. Discipline keeps you moving forward. When the feeling fades, your commitment carries you forward. So, as I prepared for this teaching today, I decided that I was going to pick one thing that I was going to try and be disciplined, or not try, I was going to be disciplined for the next 30 days to really dig into this. The first thing I started with was grounding myself in the morning. I needed something that made me feel more alive in the morning before I go out into my day, which usually can consist of not very many issues or issues all day long. That negativity, carrying it around, really weighs you down. So when I started grounding myself in the morning, I would just go outside before my shower or right before I left for work, barefoot, stand in the grass for a little bit, look up at this, the stars if they're out there. Some days you would see a little bit of blue peeking through, which was nice. It's already going back to dark when I get up again, which is sad. It shows the end of, summer coming soon, which always makes me sad. But even just that one thing that I kept making sure I was doing every day, I got to where I really enjoyed it. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to add something else. So then I started with adding more steps in for the day while I was on this journey with everyone on the STEP program. And that one is pretty easy for me. So I thought, I need to take this just a little bit further and try and do some other things. Um, so I also decided that I was going to start making sure that I am not eating out as often. That also helps, with a little bit of budget. And it's also helping with, along with my steps, my health and nutrition is also going good. And then I'm grounding myself. Um, One thing that has really been um, on my mind is to start a grief, um, kind of like a grief circle or community, just where people that feel like they're drowning in grief can kind of have a place to come and go. And I just keep telling myself I'm not ready. I'm not there yet. I don't, I need to go through more. And those are just those words that, we're hearing constantly that's killing my, you know, confidence, um, disturbing my direction and discipline and keeping me off balance. Excuse me. And those are the words that we continue to tell ourselves, the stories that we play through our minds. And I decided to figure out where this is coming from. Why do I keep stopping myself from doing things that I know I need to do with my heart, like a purpose, like it's pulling me through, but why? So I dug really deep and just started journaling. As soon as things would pop into my head, I would just journal and journal. And it took me on this road of another part of me I needed to release things was where those thoughts first came into my head that I'm not good enough. No one wants to hear what I have to say. And I traced it back so far, it was pretty surprising um, to being 7 years old and moving to Michigan to a new place where I had been in Arizona. I didn't know anybody here. The first people I met were just rude little girls across the street. And they just continued to make, I was either friends with them or I wasn't friends with them. And everybody in the neighborhood didn't like me. My brother, with him picking on me. And I just absorbed all of these things that distracted me from, what I wanted to do, who I was once at one time, and just carrying that for all these years, um, just the breakthrough of it. I'm forgiving them because they didn't know any better. A 8-year-old child, 7-year-old child isn't going to treat somebody like that unless they've been treated that way before. Those are things that, children learn. I don't think they, wake up one day and hey, I'm going to be the mean kid in the neighborhood. Um, but it also opened up compassion because I remembered things about like their family life back then. And I kind of understand, but don't understand why they were that way. I'm sure there was things behind closed doors that I didn't see. But I didn't grow up with, alcoholic parents or, the things that, might have went on in their house. And just to be able to let that go from that child perspective to who I am now and forgive them, forgive my brother because he didn't know any brother better. He was a brother and he was mean. And my dad was like, whatever, just you be quiet. That's what I was always told. So during this, to pull all of this up has really um, put my steps into more confidence. I'm showing up differently in the morning, not just because I'm grounding myself, because I feel like I'm lighter. When I walk through my job where there were people who used to beat me down every day, I'm walking through with my head held high, and no matter what, I'm taking care of what needs to be done, helping them, and reassuring them that, hey, this is how it goes, and things are just turning around at work. Like people are being stopped or stopping me and saying things like, people have noticed that I look like I'm a little thinner. I have the managers, which are higher ups in Ford, coming up and saying, you're doing an amazing job on the floor. We hear, every day how much, you help everyone and how you really care about, making sure that they're heard. And that to me is huge that, I'm being told all of these things, and that also is boosting my confidence. Just those little tiny things. It's amazing how, like one step can get you in a different direction, but one little word from somebody that's positive, and you just take those little bits and keep building those building that wall of confidence, got a little brick or a little rock, and we just keep on building till we feel like, we can stand really tall. So that is what this discipline creating confidence has done for me while doing all of my work through this. I did want to just focus on one thing, but I felt so good with that one thing that I was like, I can just feel even better. Um, Especially with the grounding in the morning when I was on vacation, because I had a couple of vacations we had to go on. My grandson and I got up and we, did the grounding in the morning. I was grounding myself right before the wedding, and it was just amazing. Just the feeling, that you just get in that morning quiet, before the hustle and bustle gets going. That serene, I guess is what you would say. So that's where my story comes in of all of the things that I have been removing is continuing to bring me my confidence. But I would suggest that anybody wants, to look forward to that and try and do more discipline and confidence, just to start with one little thing and then try it for a week and see how it goes. Or, maybe continue it for 2 weeks if unlike me, I have to have a schedule. So I have to be like, I do this at every time. I had reminders set, don't forget to go out there because some days I would wake up and just, I don't know, got sidetracked. And I'd be like, no, I need to do this. So once it became repetitive, it was just so much easier. It's up, out, back in, shower, out the door. So that's where the confidence comes in with the tiny victories. One workout, showing up when you would, said you would, that's just a win right there. A single honest sentence written down builds more than a blank page ever could. Journaling is one thing that has really helped me open up and to overcome a lot of these things that I have had buried for a long time. And I will be sharing some of those soon, more than what I did, but I just journal, 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 journal is all I can say. If you can get started, it just makes such a big difference. And then, so 3 questions to ask yourself. Pause, breathe, and sit with this honestly. What promise have I stopped keeping to myself? What excuse do I use most often? Who could I become if I trusted myself again? This one, who could I who could I become if I trusted myself again? That's the one that really made me go into where did this originally come from? When I believed in more things and believed in myself and stuff. And that's how it helped me build myself, not build, I would say pull myself out of that little girl um, that needed to be heard. And the power of small disciplines. Repeat it daily. Small disciplines practiced every day quietly creates extraordinary lives. Make it consistent. Success is not built in grand gestures. It lives in what you do consistently, not occasionally. Choose what you want most. Discipline is the daily decision to choose what you want most over what you want right now. And then I just have a few affirmations that help. I build confidence one promise at a time. I trust myself. I honor my commitments. I choose what matters over what's easy. That is one that I had to use a lot to. My hours changed at work. So not only being overly tired because I'm now working an extra hour and Saturdays, still keeping to my routine, even though I was exhausted. And then I made sure that I did one thing that made me happy every day, whether it was to read, um, meditate, sit in silence, whatever it was. I have a acupressure mat that I love to go into my office and just lay on when I've just had a long day. It just something about those little prickly things sticking into you just relieves so much anxiety and craziness from the day. So, my challenge for this week, if you would like, is to complete one thing you've been delaying. Not your entire to do list, just one thing. Then notice how you feel afterwards. That feeling is confidence building being built, one kept promise at a time. So keep those promises to yourself because we keep them for other people. But that's the best promise you can ever do is keep for one for yourself. So now we will open the discussion. Stop share. If anyone has anything they want to share.
This is where we're still on record. So, to keep it a sacred space, we are going to discontinue the recording and thank Stacey for such a beautiful message. And what I know to be true is that it is very intentional for the subjects we've chosen to teach and for the fact that you started on this a month ago. I love how you didn't talk about theory, you spoke on fact, and how I love that you, what I call it is habit stacking, that once you had a habit in there, then you're like, I've got this. Instead of, I'm going to do these six things for the first time ever. And then in the morning, you're like, woof, why did I tell myself that? Instead, you said, I'm going to do this, check, and you got that going. And how that has gone into your work, because we know when we are in any kind of space that would be a different frequency, meaning a variety of men and women, different energies, different attitudes, different rank positions, and expectations makes a big difference. And so that is huge in the fact that you are required for extra hours, which I know is good on the paycheck, but changes your life. And for the freedom that you're working for, I also know that that was an adjustment for you to also be able to teach. So I am thankful to see your growth in like warp speed and also having lots of family things on the, to fill your time as well. And so I'm excited to see your growth in this summer where you could have very easily opted out and you didn't. You said, I am going to do this. And I'm excited for you
Thank you.
and very proud of you.
And due to this, even it's just a little boost of confidence is why I was able to walk in to that wedding and wear those heels and prance my little tush across that gravel in my 6-inch heels.
Okay, hold on. We're still on record, and I need for anyone who does not know the story, can you give a little glimpse into the story? Because we as women have always had this pair of shoes, but you, like, I don't even know. Can you get them?
Can I get the, yeah, let me grab them. Hold on.
Okay. So I believe, and she's going to clarify the story. I believe she found the shoes. And if you are a female and you know what this is like when you find the shoes and then you get the dress. That's pretty much what happened. And they are absolutely beautiful. And she was officiating this beautiful wedding. And there was lots and lots of rocks. So I could dare say that with a flat pair of shoes, rocks are not my friend. But with these killer shoes, let's see. Let's see them. They're so stunning.
But
Oh
you
my
see where they
gosh.
have the study things right here under your toes? They're light, but like the bottom of my feet were burning. But yeah, I
Yeah.
ruined the heels. You can see where it ripped up my stuff from walking in this.
On the rocks.
When you
On
wear
the rock.
heels like that, the balls of your feet burn anyways, let alone when you have
Yeah.
sandpaper underneath them.
Yes. But everybody loved my shoes.
Oh, I'm
They're
sure.
gorgeous.
And Stace, what did you say? You might have been the tallest person in the room.
I think I was the tallest person in the room. My dad stood up and my dad's like 5'10", I think, and he was like, I was taller than my sister Wendy, but she was wearing flats because her husband's short, so she
Before you shut off the recording too, I have something to notice. Um, I love that your at first, discipline can feel like something like, oh, it's just one more thing I have to add to my plate, right? Oh, and even though it's something for us, it just feels like it can feel overwhelming or extra or whatever. But it was interesting that you did it anyways, and then that small action then ended up being reframed because the proof was in the pudding in the difference that it actually made in your life, in your relationships. And so then you were like, oh, why stop there? Let me do another thing. And so, the starting, I guess, is the hardest part sometimes, right?
Right.
and then once we see what it's going to do for us, then it keeps making us want to do more and try more and act more, and that's what I took from your story.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
It was awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, it was great. And I'll tell you something that just slapped me up against the face is what promise have I stopped keeping to myself? And I'm like, oh wow, that hurt. Because there's many, where do you start? And so that was I needed to hear that. That was really great. Thank you. A lot of good points.
Thank you.
Doable points.
Yeah. I had to make it easy because,
Yeah, that way we will be disciplined about it. Too
yeah,
hard, and then you want to give up.
right.
Yeah.
And there were days that I was like, I just want to lay on the couch. I
Oh
don't want
yeah.
to, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. But I made sure I did one thing that made me happy every day. Either it was
Yeah.
tanning or I'm mowing my lawn or, just like I said, meditating, all that stuff. I found one thing that made me happy, whether it was just grabbing coffee on the way to work because I was running late. Just
Right.
one little thing that I could be like, I did that for myself.
Yeah,
Mm.
that was a good addition. I like that.
I also loved stepping out of your comfort zone means choosing your future self. And so like you're sacrificing a little bit of comfort in the now for hopefully a lot of benefit in the future, or the change in identity, whatever it is that you're looking for. And so I like that line. I'm going to steal that.
All right.
Say that one more time. Stepping out of your comfort zone. What was the rest of it?
Well, I just put in my notes, stepping out of your comfort zone equals choosing your future self.
Yeah, I like that too.
And that's exactly what you did, Martha.
Oh, that's true. No wonder I like that.
Well, and it's so fresh and recent because you might have changed the date in which you were going to do it, right? Because and it was true. Like you had some things that came up in your schedule.
Yeah.
We shifted and you still did it. And so many times in life when we don't share a goal, when we don't share a truth, no one's there to hold us accountable, right? I
True.
say that all the
Yeah.
time, but there's something deeper. It's the capability. And that's the difference is we held you capable and Stacey, you stepped into a different light for yourself because you said, I promised myself, period, end of story,
Right.
right? End of story. And then that ripple effect that showed up and how differently you enjoyed a family wedding, which can be mentally health wise, we talked about before we hit record, that sometimes the things that creep in from family can be that stress of, I don't know how he's going to show up today. I don't know how she's going to show up today. And you showed up where you were, a different height. You were, and you didn't get to tell the story about the shoes because the part of the shoes that you like, you wanted these and you like it wasn't like oh I just bought them whatever no big deal it was kind of a thing.
Yeah. I bought them for a special occasion with someone I was dating. We were going to this really fancy place and it kept getting put off, So anyways, I bought these for that and I held on to them, held on waiting for this to happen that never did. I ended that relationship last year. I cut off all contact, done. But I had these shoes on my shelf, and I usually wear black. I'm trying to throw more colors out. I even ordered colored shirts for work. Everybody's like, you need to wear color because you look great in it. So I went with a royal blue dress, and I was like, what shoes am I going to wear? What can I wear with those? And I was like, oh, I can wear those. And then I put them on for my friend, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, yes." And I thought, "Oh, they're kind of high," but until I got them on and was in the country, I realized how high they
In the
really were.
woods.
Sinking into the ground every step.
Right.
Walking like a geisha girl.
You needed those little plastic things that the Barbies stand on.
Oh yes, yes. But I was like, I am not going to fall. I am gonna walk this thing. And like I walked out there first with my Britney Spears headphone on, and I was so excited, but the
Explain
wind kept,
why. Explain why.
oh, for telling this, for what do you mean?
For officiating because
Oh,
you were
yes, for officiating the wedding because I was officiating the wedding. They hooked me up with the Britney Spears thing, and this is great because I have to hold my phone in my hand and all this stuff. Well, the wind kept blowing, so you couldn't hear me. It kept drowning me out, so I had to use the mic. So I had to keep going for mic check and this and that. So I'm walking up and down this gravel area, and they had stone rocks as a path, like four of them going down this little incline, and then you walked across that stuff. And I
Oh
was just like,
gosh.
I've got this. I can do this in my head. Like the whole time I was walking, I was like, I look beautiful. No one is watching me. I've got this. And then I stood there to like talk, and my heels just went, vroom. I was like, I hope nobody noticed that.
you're like, I hope I could get out of here.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
I love it. Well, I think that that story is so important because you were building up to it. And it's one thing to attend a wedding. We all feel, like we don't wear those dresses and can be uncomfortable or the weird bra or the, what do you call it? The Spanx. One time I'll never forget, I was putting on in Declan when he was little. He was like, why would you do that? And I was like mid, like, "Ugh," and he was like, I'll never understand. And I was like, yeah, I can't wait till the person you end up dating. We talk about these things. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, you're going to a wedding and it's all these new experiences. Yet I can say, I think any of us, I've never officiated. It's enough to go to something fancy that's different. Yet it was different in such a special way that you were literally leading you were it like you were making it official. You're officiant. There's probably other terms, but anyway, like that's a big deal, and to lead into that with your own depth because you chose into these extra activities for yourself and being able to ask yourself. I love that you are asking yourself because we get to do that. And Martha, I talked to her today about some of the tech for her launch, her class, and we were fixing some of that. And she's like, "What are you doing for you today?" Well, thank you, Martha, for asking that question. Now I get to think about some of those little things. And I did say I very proudly, I have been grounding because Stacy and I have been talking about that and the value. It seems silly, yet it's an intentional choice to stand in the grass in the morning
Yeah,
and just.
exactly.
And also, I think what's interesting weather-wise is to see how easy it is now. And later it's going to be even harder, when it's really cold out.
You'll have to start
And
hugging a tree instead. You're
I
welcome.
There
know,
you
I
go.
know.
Well,
Somebody be driving by and they're like, what's
in the wintertime,
going on?
I
Right.
like to go out and clean off my car barefoot.
Oh.
So I do it. I go, okay, I got to do this fast. I got to do it really, really fast.
You're gonna get a
But it's
date and
it's
somebody's gonna
very
be like, let me take care of that poor girl who's in her bare feet.
invigorating in the morning, you know? So you just go out there, not when it's got like inches. We're talking like a quick, clean off. And then I run back in the house and I just do this for a minute because my feet are freezing, but it like wakes me up. My kids have always thought that I was crazy, but if you go out at the first snow, early morning, it is so serene
Yes.
and just crisp. And it's almost like you can hear the crispness of it.
Yeah.
And I just
Feel
love
it
it.
in your
So,
nose.
yes,
And
Yeah,
your
somebody from
toes.
Canada would know. It's much
yeah.
colder
Oh,
up there.
yes. So I am running and cleaning off my car, but I'm like, windshield, side windows, back window, run around and then back in the house and start it, even though I have auto start.
That's a good plan. I'm not quite there yet. It's thankfully
I
still
don't do it when
August.
it's those 0, 0 below zero crap bullshit. Excuse my French.
I
But we're talking, like 35,
love
nice
French.
fresh snow. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Bonjour.
awesome. Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, thank you for sharing. Let's stop. And if anyone else We missed you, so thanks for watching. And if you want to know more, or if you want to know more about what Stacey does, then I'll make sure that her information is connected to the replay.
If you're curious about